Sit back, get real comfy. Take a second to embrace your edges. Embrace.
Okay. Well. It's a new day and a new time. Last week I was talking about change, and it looks like I've done quite a bit of change. I'm in my bed today because I'm tired. I had a crazy week, and getting out of bed or, doing it in the morning didn't work out. So, nighttime recording. I changed my dog. This is Daisy, not Cassidy. Cassidy had to go to sleep, so we could not interrupt her bedtime. Daisy, on the other hand, is a puppy, and Daisy has no clock. Okay, so you're okay. We're not doing that. Anyhow, so last week we talked about change. As I said, I changed my dog, changed my position of where I'm sitting. Daisy, don't do that. And we're going to now change the focus about what I'm talking about. I'm being distracted by her because she's now scratching my bed. This is not outside. I think you're confused. Anyways, change of prop. Yeah, that's to get Daisy to be quiet. Okay, so in 2021, during the pandemic, I did a lot of new things, a lot of firsts. First time for me leaving, going into a job that I had no idea about. I had to learn a lot about. And that was trucking. I went into trucking, commercial trucking, and I had to learn a whole new field, and it took me on this venture. But what it did was allow me to get back into things that I had to step away from, like blogging. I love writing. Hence, the book is coming out. The problem is not the book being finished. The book is done. The problem is me loading the book onto a platform so everyone can access it. That is the issue. So I just didn't have any time. I've been doing school, I've been doing placement, I have been doing a lot. But April is coming up. My life is going to get back to a little bit of normalcy, and that book will be coming out very soon. Anyways, so I started back blogging. I do love blogging. It was called Authentically and Unapologetically Truth Teller. Okay. And it was doing well. It really was. After the third entry, I realized that I had added something to my schedule that I did not and could not maintain. And that's another part about change. Sometimes you would add things to your schedule, and although it is doable, it's not necessarily accessible at the present time. So you can make plans. So I plan to get back to the blogging. And now that I have added, I stepped away from hot tea with pleasures and doing, embrace your edges. That was kind of good today. Anyway, okay. Embrace your edges. I'm able to go back into the blogging, and I'm very excited about it. Okay, I'm in my little comfy PJs, and I'm in my bed, got my pillows all around me. Only one of my props, and my actual dog is sleeping. Don't want to disturb her bed. So let's talk about the blog. So the first episode of the blog is called Are You Truly Authentically You? Now I'm going to read a little bit about it and then dissect it a bit, see where I was back then and where I am, because every day should be a learning opportunity for yourself. And that's how I see myself. I try to learn something new every day. And if I don't, I try to understand something about myself every day. So let's start. I'll read and then I'll dissect and probably poke a little fun at myself. So it says it's August 2nd, 2021. I'm writing this. So I'm sitting on my couch, minding my business, trying to catch up on the latest episode of my guilty pleasure. Now, thinking of 2021, it's either rustling or rustling. Yep, rustling when it hits me. I need to blog, the need to blog. But what's to blog about? Hmm. I am so different than my past self. Facts. My thoughts are freer, deeper, and authentic. I no longer look for validation of societal acceptance. No, I don't. And I'm just me and okay with it. I love my flaws. They're all my lessons and blessings. um, Blogging was something I previously did to get my voice out to my family and friends about demons, stresses, and my emotional performance. About 10 years ago, I stopped. Okay. So previously to this, I started a blog. I was actually more invested in that one because it was my voice of reason to myself. And it was me writing letters to myself. It really allowed me to journal publicly about something that was private, but something that I needed to say out loud. And if it helped one person, then I was okay with it. It allowed me also too to put myself in an uncomfortable space. And I love that saying, in order to be comfortable, you have and to become successful at being comfortable, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And I was definitely very much uncomfortable. Okay. I not also I would do speeches. I did a lot of competitions and speeches, keynote speaking as well. And the blog again was my out, was my voice, was my checking with myself. And here's the reason why. So the next line says, I once again lost my voice, but this time I was afraid to even let them know, me, my family, my friends, what my true self looked like, my experiences, and what had silenced me so deeply that I accepted my fate. And this is around the time when I decided to write my book because I really wanted to be authentic in my book, be raw, but without too much triggering. I was doing, I had decided I was going to become more of a keynote speaker than a workshop um, presentation. But I found that every time I would do speeches or workshops, people would be in tears and and my objective was not to get them to feel sorry for me or for them to have that kind of reaction per se. My objective of doing these presentations was in the hope that one person at least, even if it was just one person, would hear themselves or hear the story, my story in them, and say, there is a tomorrow, or here's a resource I can use to maybe help myself. So that was the objective. But I just had to and so what I would do too is I would miss some of the story because I didn't get to that accepted place with that part of the story is yet. And I was protecting a lot of people that had harmed me. I didn't want to cause more harm. I wanted to educate in a way where I get to say my piece. But anyways, so going back to the blog, enters a Toastmaster later who became a friend. I really truly admire this lady. She knows who she is. I'm not going to call her name. I didn't get any clearance to do that. But he's my mentor. You know, she always tells me, I've learned so much from you, but girl, the amount of things and the the level of empathy I've learned from her. The next line describes her completely. Petite, strong, beautiful, and confident. She's a lady that continuously approached me um, until against my will, I ventured into the unknown Toastmasters meeting. And anyone who, I always talk about Toastmasters. I always talk about Toastmasters because it helped me. It really did. It not only allowed me to use my voice, it also brought me to the realization of the amount of damage that was done and where I was in my journey. It also allowed me to have a voice and speak my truth. And from that Toastmasters platform, I graduated every time I would go out and speak. I graduated in my confidence, in my self esteem, my self worth, my self understanding, and my acceptance of my flaws, and was able to, you know, speak my truth and be okay with it. Be okay that I'm not okay. And be okay that I am okay. And be okay that I have flaws and bumps and bruises, that I have scarring, and that I do not have to be what society thinks I am. I get to be me and be okay with it. It was great. So, anyways, um, yeah, I was petrified. That's what it says next line. I was petrified. I was. I remember my first speech. Oh, wait, I say more. I actually talk about it here in the blog. That's funny. I was about to tell you. I could swear I peed my undies. I could because I was sweating so profusely. Oh my goodness. Yep, that day because the sweat lines were predominant. I found the furthest seat away from all, especially the front. I put that in caps and sat in my comfort camouflage. A lot of people do suffer with social anxiety. I don't think I was suffering from a social anxiety. Mine was shame. And a lot of women that go through domestic violence or any kind of trauma, anyone, I should say, I shouldn't say just women, anyone that goes through trauma, you have that shame and that guilt that layers the background, and it walks around with you. It walks around with you because you know your story, and you do not want to be judged for your story all the time. You don't want that to be your complete conversation, the identity of what you are. You try so hard for people to see you, to get to know you. However, sometimes people do know your story and all they want to talk about is that story. And they want to pity you and they want to show sympathy. And it comes off a different way. And so I'm a Toastmaster, so I can hear myself saying and all the time. Anyways, I'll relax them in bed. I can say and alms. So what happens is you start to either feel as though, for myself, I was having a hard time with that shame and that guilt. No one knew my story but me, and it weighed on. Okay, so I said I will rather be furniture, be a furniture piece than an accessory in the room. Yes, girl. Then then a lady, later known to me. I call her name. I'm not going to call her name now, but she knows that she is 5'9" or 5'10" of loveliness. She's an amazing individual. Another one. Oh, oh, there goes my dog, Daisy. Daisy. Oh, you want to be? She's being protective, and here comes the other one. Daisy. Daisy, come on. Anyway, back to the story, Daisy. See, I went from a dog that doesn't say anything and is a log to a dog that does everything is a little bit too much. Okay. All right. So where was I? Okay. So, anyways, then a lady, later known to me as, asked a question. Her smile was warm and welcoming, her words non-threatening, although it was a death, it was death defying to me. She said, "What is your favorite color?" Imagine That was my first speech. The question was, what is your favorite color? Girl, I got up. It was supposed to be a 1 to 2 minute speech. I got up and she said, can you give us a 1 to 2 minute speech about it? It was something they called table topics time. I stood up shakingly, heart racing, mouth dry as a desert. My brain encouraged me to run, but my feet were heavily planted. That that plan failed immediately. I hailed and said with braveness, red is my favorite color. Thank you. The end. Now, any person that knows me now and didn't know me back then when I was going through the recovery and the journey, the beginning of my journey of finding myself and learning to accept my flaws and not focus on others judging me for my flaws. If you met me now, you would say, girl, that's all you can say. No way. Hillary didn't just get up and say her favorite color is red. Thank you. Yes, I did. And they applaud and cheered like Oprah, like I was Oprah, and had just awarded them all new cars. You get a car, you get a car, everybody gets a car. That was 6 years ago. In 2021, I'm saying that was 6 years ago. So, okay. So let me see where I was then. So it was 2021. So, okay, back 2021, DTM. So DTM in Toastmasters means Distinguished Toastmasters. That's as high as you can go. That's me. I went as high as I can go, but I think I want to go back to Toastmasters. I really do enjoy the community of it. I enjoy the challenges and challenging myself. And you can always learn something new, anyways. So many great speakers. You can always learn something new. So, where was I? Right. Sitting on my couch and blogging. I wanted to name the blog before I started writing as a guy, authentically and unapologetically truth teller is what I came up with. Catchy, right? Maybe, maybe not. But my truth. I decided to interview persons from Toastmasters and my inner circle to get the meat. By the way, I'm a vegan. Well, that's another story right there because I am taking you back on my journey with me to going back into vegan lifestyle. I had stepped away from the vegan lifestyle under doctor's orders because I was going through some medical situation and I needed a lot of protein. Unfortunately, the vegan diet wasn't going to give me the amount of protein that I needed in a quick amount of time. So I had to go back to a pescatarian um, way of eating. It was Mediterranean, more when I could force chicken. I did that like once or twice a month. Um, a lot of fish, and of course, fruits and vegetables. And it worked. It worked. I got back up to the protein levels, the vitamin D, the vitamin B's, everything. My levels are great. However, now I want to go back and transition to vegan. It's a little bit challenging because I love cheese. I love cheese. Oh my goodness. Did I tell you I was in love with cheese? I am. So I have to get off the cheese. That's where I am right now. That's the only thing that's stopping me from not being a vegan is the cheese. So I have to get back to not doing the cheese. Anyways, so what it says here, it says, I decided to interview persons of Toastmasters and my inner circle to get the meat. By the way, I'm not vegan. And potatoes of me, and that is now. So here we go. The first episode. Are you truly authentically you? I left my government job, started a business, and stopped apologizing for being me. That is right. I let me tell you something. I remember the same mentor telling me one time she passed my desk, and she said to me, "When you turn 40, you're going to stop apologizing and you're going to say your piece. But when you turn 50, girl, don't give a damn. You say exactly what you feel. And if people don't like it, well, God bless them. Okay. And it's not about being rude, but being assertive and saying your yes and making your yeses really truly yeses and your no's definitely no's in a way that is constructive, but at the same time, you don't lose yourself. So what do others think about the way of living? Okay. This way of living. Being yourself, being authentically through. So I interview a person by the name of Sheila. Okay, so today I conducted a 1 hour interview with my interviewee Sheila. Interviewee Sheila is a Toastmaster and her path to living her authentic self. And of course, I changed the name, so that's a made up name. And here we go. I'm going to take you through it. So, Hillary, me. Hi, Sheila. Thanks for agreeing to be interviewed for episode 1 of my blog. Are you truly authentically you? How did you get interested in Toastmasters? So Sheila responds, I heard about Toastmasters for a number of years and wanted to be involved, but couldn't couldn't seem to make that connection to the community with community ones. I joined one at my workplace, and recently you came to Toastmasters, meeting me. I came and visit Toastmasters. So I would go around to different Toastmasters now, and that's what's a beautiful thing about Toastmasters. You get to go to various clubs. And during the pandemic, it was actually great because I got to go to places like Italy, India, China, Japan, Africa, the Caribbean. That was fun without even leaving my bed or my office. And recently you came to Toastmasters at our workplace as a special guest speaker. I would do that every so often, was do keynote speaking or guest speaker, and spoke about Brampton Be Your Best. And that's a Toastmasters that I helped created. I actually created, but then I got people to help me and blah, blah, blah. I checked it out and joined Brampton Be Your Best. So she joined. Okay, wonderful. Tell me a bit about yourself. That's me speaking. And Sheila says, I'm a mom, a grandmother, and love what you are doing. I love blogging. I don't do it a lot, I want to get more involved with it, I do like what you're doing. Writing is one of my interests, like you. Okay. I said, perfect. Let's talk about being authentic. Are you truly authentically you? And Sheila says she loved the question. This question made me do some soul searching as I pondered on this anticipation of our interview. I asked myself, are you meaning generally and me specifically? But let's look at it generally first. It's not we're never get to be in that place to be truly authentic, but it's the journey. And I believe that I am in the process of being authentic. As we grow, I believe that we all want to be liked. We want to fit in. So so we would take on personas who are truly us in order to get accepted from people. Children and elderly speak honestly. Yes, they do, girl. Don't ask a kid how. If you do not want to know how you actually look in that dress, do not ask any child. Please, God. And you take it or leave it. Whereas in between ages are always uh, regulating themselves, and that's true. And I think that the more experience you get in life, and the more traumas that happen to you, and the more interaction with each other and societal acceptance of what they consider norm, we do form the idea that you have to behave a certain way or you're considered a certain way. And if you don't want to be associated with that, being considered a rebel or disruptive, then you conform. Yeah. And I say definitely. So Sheila says, now the important thing is to find that balance between the person at home and the person in a different atmosphere of life. Uh, yeah. I'll tell you this. I Hiking really brought out my true self because for years I wanted to hike. I wanted to get out there and do. outdoorsy stuff, but everyone keeps putting me in this damn box. Everyone has, I mean, people around me, a lot of people around me have this idea of, and it's very interesting what people see me as and what their idea of me is. Let me explain something to you. I put on the makeup, for the little camera thing, and I put on makeup to go to work, or to go out, or whatever. Because I like doing makeup. I really do. I enjoy it. It's my fun time. It reminds me of my mom. My mom, who's passed when I was young, she really loved makeup, and it kind of connects me with her, makes me feel as though she's still present. But Hillary likes the outdoors, okay? I love camping. If you want to go camp, let me know. I love camping. I love anything, any kind of outdoor activity. Now I can't swim now. I am learning. I am. But I just love outdoors. I love it. I enjoy trees. I enjoy seeing the landscape, looking at trees and their patterns. I enjoy looking at animals and insects and dirt. I just enjoy it. It's authentically who I am. I love being out there. I love gardening, by the way. I miss my garden. My garden. Oh, Canada. So that's who I am. I love roughhousing with my boys and joking around. I have dry humor. I am very sarcastic. I am. And I own it. And I'm okay with that. I'm a Capricorn. Supposed to be sarcastic. So, you know, I had to rest with that. I had to really rest with that and be okay with not everyone being around me being okay with that. Not everyone gets my dry humor. Not everyone gets the fact that I want to go camping instead of going shopping or going to a club or, you know, I don't know, going on a plane somewhere. I'd rather go out camping. And I get called a lot of things. Yep. Some stuff is very racial. Some stuff is very uncomfortable to hear. And I understand that's where they are, but that's not my problem. That's y'all problem. Anyhow, I had to really rest with that and had to be okay with that and accept that that's how others see me. They see me as quiet. I've been called quiet. I've been called standoffish. I've been called very serious. Um, I get called um easy to talk to, uh, nice, simple. I hate that word because I don't know what you mean by simple. It's very condescending. Uh, what else I've been called? Nice, very nice, and for some reason a lot of people think I'm timid. Not timid. I just don't like drama. I have a lot of live experiences, and so I if I see drama coming, I say thank you very much, but no thank you. This does not belong to me. That is your issue. You deal with it. I'm over here. Now, if you came to me for counseling, now obviously I am going to listen. But again, I let that trauma leave with you. I do not hold on to other people's trauma. I try my best not to do that anymore. Back in the day, I didn't know how to separate empathy from sympathy. And this is the thing is we tend to um, sympathize with others, but in sympathy comes having to add that emotion to your life. But with empathy comes understanding and being and acting in the position of what that person wants you to be. And I had to move over to empathy instead of sympathy and give an ear when I could. Now, not all the time. I believe in the airplane theory. Take care of yourself so you can help others. Um, so I'm getting a little bit off the block here, but I wanted to acknowledge that not everyone is okay with your journey and is ready to take that journey with you and is ready for you to take that journey or is accepting of you taking that journey. So don't get upset. It is what it is. And that's their right not to be excited about it. Um, so, uh, Sheila talks about the balance between, that persona at home and at work. Uh, and she goes, I do believe that it takes time. It takes a lifetime to truly be authentic, and it's harder search, especially if you don't know God. I know that it's a longer answer. And she laughed. We both laughed, actually. I said, no, it's great. Thank you. And I said, I started my journey years ago after coming out of an abusive relationship, and I didn't know what it was called. That, mm, wow, that's so true. Back then, I didn't know. You know, you don't know you're in something until you step out of it. So, what I did know was I no longer wanted to fit in, wanted to fit in. I wanted to be me. I wanted to try dreads. I would never do this back in the day because I was so concerned about everybody else except what I wanted. Do you think that people have fears or being considered weird or labeled or rebels, odd or strange when it comes to finding your authentic self or authenticity? Do you find that the more you become more authentic, the more you become socially wrong, societally? Mm, yes. And she says yes. Sheila says, yes, I do believe that people do have a fear of being considered a rebel because there are unwritten rules, codes of conduct that people have, and when you don't fit into that, and you're trying to become your authentic self, some might cringe, and because they haven't been liberated in that area yet, people don't always embrace it. I was just talking about, and we all don't grow at the same rate. Amen. And so you're going to find differences in people's behaviors as we ourselves grow. And that is so true. And she goes on, and I go on to say, I spoke to Judy about hiking and and purposely rolling down the hill. Okay, aka it was arranged. So I was out hiking. I'm gonna you know ad lib a little bit here. I went out hiking. I have a photo of me rolling down the hill, and I was hiking with my good friends, and we came to this range. It was a little range, a little hill, and we were talking about. I said, "Man, I want to roll down this range, this hill." And he said, "No, don't do it." Why not? And there were people further down the path. And she said, "Oh my God, don't do it. People will see you." And in that moment, I decided to do it. You know why I decided to do it? Because I will no longer determine who gets to see me excited. I will no longer determine to for others to tell me what how behavior looks like or what it looks like. If it makes me feel good and I'm not harming anyone, what does it matter? So I was rolling down the hill. I still have the video of it, me rolling down that hill, girl. I knew it was a dangerous ride. It was a little range. And I have fun. We both laughed at it. She was like, "You're crazy." I'm not crazy. I was having fun. And my youth, I remember when I was a kid, I used to roll down this hill in Barbados. I lived in Barbados until I was about 11 years old. And I I used to I love that. That was so much fun. So I had the opportunity to have a little fun. I had my little fun, okay? And so I spoke to Judy about um uh, hiking and purposely rolling down to hell, aka it was a range. Hiking was one of the things I wanted to try. I told myself to find myself, I would venture and explore new activities, stop focusing on what I thought I would look like and what others would assume. If I wanted to try something, I did, no second thoughts about it, have the experience and not wonder about what others were thinking. I miss rolling down the hills as a kid, um, which gave me a sense of freedom. So when the opportunity came, just like many others before and after, I did it. I explained that not being focused on what others are thinking and concentrating on your own thoughts gained you the ability to truly enjoy the simple things in life. Uh, they call it living outside the box, okay? AKA being yourself and not giving two about it. What other people think or what others think. It's exhausting to focus on other people's thoughts. Not, no wonder Superman pretended to be someone else in plain sight. Please don't write me about don't write me comic commerce. No, it's so funny. My kids are going to see go to Comic Con on the weekend. I think that's a whole other culture, I tell you. Plus, I have a new superhero. My superhero is liberation. Okay, I love it. If you're not harming anyone, why are you so invested in their thoughts? What you think will bring acceptance and not truly showcasing who you are. Question is, do you know who you are? We continue with the interview. So, Sheila, some are liberated in areas that others have not yet been liberated. And I say, yes, that takes time, different experiences, aka lessons, and different situations that lead you to that place. You have to be truthful to yourself about how authentic you want to be, or do I need to be? For some, it could transition over to their workplace, and they probably would not want that. And what you need to decide is, do I continue to apologize for being myself, or do I ask, can I be me and it's okay? What do you think you need to do to become more authentic in yourself? And Sheila says, listen, to myself more, I listen to myself more and be comfortable with, and I'm very comfortable with who I am. I find that what is authentic for me at home might not be authentic at work. At work, you are more subdued. I find that because of context, it changes who you are. We keep on modifying, and where do you get that balance? It's not us that we are presenting in the workplace. And that's true, by the way. We are immune. And some of my people know we put on white voice. You know what I'm talking about? You put on that corporate voice when you go to work, or you dress in a way you would not normally dress. And that is true. There is on YouTube, there was a lady that I was watching a couple of weeks ago, and she was talking about having to be work ready and not being her authentic self because it wasn't acceptable for her to be herself and live in her culture at work. And so for some people, it's also that. So Sheila goes on to say, it's what fits the culture of the workplace. You modify to suit the workplace, but it's not you. We all got to pay bills now. Okay. So you don't think you can be authentically uh, yourself at work in the workplace? And she said it's hard as far as causing concern. You have to fit into the company's culture, and sometimes that feels pretentious. And and so you are not being authentically you, and that can be the reason why people leave certain jobs because they do not fit in. To be honest, it is hard. And I said, yep, that is one of the reasons I left my permanent government job. I was going through the transition of being more authentic with myself, accepting who I was, and not living for other people, and trying to focus on my end goals and my purpose. I had an awakening, like an aha moment. I found that I could no longer look myself in the face in the mirror and say I was being me, and that was so true. I wasn't being myself at that job. Um, I would wake up and dread going into work because I would have to stop being me for 8 hours a day. And it started to make me ill. In fact, I ended up in the hospital quite a bit of times, almost lost my life, actually. Um, when you step out of the workplace, some of us breathe a sigh of relief, Sheila says. It's a, it's fake that we keep on, it's a fake face that we keep on in the workplace. And then when you leave, we are able to release it. And some of us that are blessed to love our jobs because it is actually who we are or our purpose is wonderful. So some might say, I can't relate to that because I'm in my job now. That is my purpose. And I get it, understand, but this is for people that aren't. And then I said, what have you what have you been doing to follow your purpose? And Sheila said, Toastmasters, to be frank. Toastmasters, see, here we go. I love Toastmasters. It gives me that platform to express myself, to communicate both verbally and written form. I look forward to our Toastmasters meetings. It is one of my bright spots of my week. And if you don't have, and this is another thing, it doesn't have to be Toastmasters, finding something that you love, something that feeds that piece of you that you can't take to work all the time or you can't display at work all the time, you know, can brighten up your life. It can give you that energy that you're looking for, that motivation, inspiration to do other work. Sheila then informed me that as authentic as she is, she still seeks more knowledge to accomplish such goals and to find herself. She believes that her shyness keeps her away from being authentic, as do others. And a lot of people, as I said earlier, do suffer from social anxiety, which we consider shyness. And it's very hard for them to make those kind of steps. Toastmasters help, girl. We went to discuss childhood and being silenced. I can only speak from a Caribbean experience. However, I have heard from some of my friends outside the culture and the same wording. A child should be seen and not heard. My friend often thought I was spoiled. My friends thought I was spoiled when I was a kid because that wasn't something told to me, really. I didn't really have that experience. However, a practice throughout the culture and where I was from, when you silence a child, you silence their authenticity and the ability for them to share their true selves. This can lead to children being conditioned to hide truths and create lies to make themselves comfortable, a behavior that um, unconsciously continues into adulthood as acceptable. And that is very dangerous because if a child is being abused or assaulted, that silence of, you know, being part of the culture, part of the way things are, can also allow that behavior to be hidden. And that's how a lot of traumas, are continuously silenced, unfortunately. Although parents have good intentions based on societal acceptance behaviors, it can take away from a child's freedom of expression if not communicated correctly. We are all born with a purpose and skill. Hearing no or negative reaction is the wrong reaction. Let's let Simon draw on the walls, express himself. Wait, wait. The wall was painted with a chalkboard paint. Good communication. Whoosh! I avoided the parenting blast. Meaning, if Simon is drawing on your walls and you're renting someplace and you're concerned about it, or it's an investment property and you don't want Simon writing on the walls, get some chalkboard paint, paint over that little spot and tell Simon every Friday you want to see a new mural. He'll be happy, you'll be happy, and you wouldn't tell him that his purpose or his passion was crap. Simple. Now, Sheila goes on to say, the young you, the old you, are the place you find authenticity in the two extremes. A young child has no filter. Old people are are also unfiltered. Have you ever asked an old person a question that you don't want to hear the answer to? Please don't. I love it. They say what they think. They do. They do. That's why at my family gathering, she said, we get nervous about what our 80-year-old grandma might blurt out. And they don't mean anything by it. It's part of the culture of where they're from and years of experience. And, it's sad but true. They know that their days are ending. They don't have time to apologize to you for how they really think or how they really feel. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's where they are. And it's usually the unfiltered truth. It usually is. The more we know God and practice His word, the better we are with being authentic. And that's what Sheila says. And she goes on to say, I want to ask, oh, sorry, that's me. So I wanted to ask Sheila one last question before running off and getting my first blog out to the world. Okay, maybe just my friends and Toastmaster peeps. I was being realistic. This was a question you probably asked yourself last year in the early parts of during the pandemic. So I said, during the pandemic in 2020, so we remember that every year we thought it was going to be over. So during the pandemic in 2020, we saw a lot of shocking things on television. We saw a lot of protests and uprising as well as other bad behaviors. Do you think that the pandemic made people become more authentic? Interesting question, Hillary. Okay. And Sheila says, oh my gosh, I love this question. Okay. All right. Because I don't know if I like the question, but all right. I think let's see, we all grow, and now I know that the pandemic took longer. She says, where is it? Okay. I think in part, the pandemic truly showed us who we are, who we were. The same thing I was saying earlier, we have certain confines in which we live, which dictates our behavior. What did the pandemic bring out? Where did all of this behavior come from? It was already within. Ooh, preach. Unfortunately, none of us are exempt from bad behavior. You just need to press the right button. Facts. I'm sure many who look back at the things that they did during the pandemic are surprised at themselves. They didn't know they had it in them to be so vile, but it was always there. Wow, that's loaded. That is loaded. Ooh. So I said, thank you, Sheila, for being completely honest and authentic in your answers. Wow, that was my first blog. I had a lot to say, a bit longer than I am, but hey, I'm back. What I learned from this interview is understanding and compromising with others as they move forward towards authenticity because you are ready to be real and raw doesn't necessarily mean others, although authentic, are comfortable being raw. And that's okay. Plus, I can't wait to see what the, the I'm oh so can say what I want. So I think I meant to say I can't wait to when I get old when I can say what I want. Hoping you continue to read and come along with me on my blog journey to be authentically and unapologetic, unapologetic truth teller. I think that was a typo. Until next time, Hilly Billy, aka Truth Teller, blog authentic, hashtags all on authentic. Love your flaws, blah blah blah. Truth Teller. Wow, that was fun. And I got quite a bit of views. Okay, and some likes. All right. Okay. I was on the right track. Unfortunately, as I said, life happened and I had to step away from this. But I'm going to continue. I'm going to start back up the blog. I'm going to leave it as authentically and unapologetic truth teller. Um, and I'm probably going to add, embrace your edges there somewhere. But I'm going to leave it at that because I really did enjoy that. Tomorrow, I will read the next entry to you. But that was good. That was me going back through. I wanted to see where I was before, where my mind is. Have I really changed? Not so much. I think I'm more comfortable being uncomfortable. I'm really comfortable being uncomfortable. I said something the other day that really shocked myself. Uh, so I wanted to get the braids right because these are crocheted. Uh, my actual hair, the texture of it is very complex, and so sometimes the hair just pulls out or just falls out because the quality of my hair. Anyways, so I know which ones I need and which one I can't have in my hair. My son went to pick up these the locks because the vendor that I normally use didn't have any. And this other vendor, I guess the other vendor knew that he didn't know anything about here and sold him $100 and something of here that I could not use. Now, I had spoken to her over the phone, okay, explained myself and told her what I wanted. I even sent him with a sample of it so that she could see. She completely ignored it. All they cared about was the sale and give him here that I could not use. So I called them up, told them about it. And when I got there, they tried to give me a different story. Now, the old Hillary would probably be like, I don't want to deal with this. You know what? Okay, forget it and walk out. But no, this Hillary was like, listen, okay, you can see what this looks like. You knew he didn't know anything about here and you took advantage of it. Can I have my money back, please? And the answer was yes. They exchanged it. And I said, thank you so much. Understand that you didn't understand. That's fine. Let's agree to disagree. Have a blessed day. And I was done. And I say it wasn't rude. It was me speaking my truth. It was me standing up for myself and not allowing other people to abuse and take advantage. And I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I am not sorry. I meant to say exactly what I said. I wasn't disrespectful. I didn't get all boisterous or anything. It was a very calm manner, but I let them know exactly how I felt. And it felt good. I was like, how did that feel for you? It felt pretty good, you know? And I'm never one to talking about being combative or anything like that, but I do speak my truth and I'm very much authentically me. And I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the journey. So, anyways, with that, tell me about your edges. We have three new questions. I'm going to ask my producer to give me a little bit of shake about these questions. What are the three questions, Colette with love? So say that one more time. So I've inspired her. You're welcome. No, I'm joking. Well, thank you. I'm glad that I'm helping you feel inspired. Uh, how do you get your boyfriend to do the same thing? Well, maybe that's the problem. That's not your job. You cannot. What you can do maybe is focus on yourself. Focus on. You said that I have inspired you to work on your goals. Continue to work on your goals and maybe talk about your goals and celebrate your goals. And maybe in him seeing you celebrating your goals and reaching them or trying to reach them may inspire him or motivate him to do the same. But you don't have any control over, and this is the part, people, you do not have, because you marry somebody or in a relationship with someone or something like that, you do not have the right to their life. Okay. You cannot make them do anything or get them to do anything. What you can do is make yourself the example and the reference book. And, maybe ask them how you can help them or whether or not they need help. Some people just don't want to do it. You have to, um, realize, or maybe realize, you don't have to, but maybe realize that, oh, there we go. Maybe realize that, you know, this is your journey. Focus on your journey, and whoever benefits from it, it's a blessing. That's what I have to say about that. I don't ever try to make people do anything or try to inspire people to do anything. I just use my platform to show you what I did, and if it inspires you, great. If it doesn't, I hope it was good information for you. So that's what I have to say to you to that, and I hope that doesn't I hope that answers your question, but let's not try to um, make other people your project. Okay. Next question. How do you know? Okay, 1, 2, 4, 7, 8 Houston or something like that. How do you know what? How do you know the change you decided was the right person, right choice? Okay, I was gonna say you got another. That's a loaded question. How do you know the change you've decided is the right choice? Well, I hope that you watched my episodes last week about change and, you know, going with the change, realizing that you want to change. Why do you want to change? Accepting the reasoning why, going through the change, going through the rough edges of the change, and then change it. So by that time, you should have known whether or not it was good. And remember, change is supposed to feel good. It's going to feel uncomfortable, but it's going to feel good and right. You ever had a situation where you went into a store and you're like, man, nothing's going to fit in here. And you put on the outfit and you're like, ooh, this is like it was made for me. Well, that's what change feels like. It feels like it was made for you. Okay. And obviously, the journey, you're going to be uncomfortable. Obviously, in the journey, you're going to have bumps in the roads, and sometimes you might have to start over again. But your journey should have told you whether or not it was a good thing for you. So I hope that answered your question. Next question, last question. Hi, New York. Yeah, go on. Okay. Okay, so your friend is out there partying still, New York, doing her New York thing, and you're now probably more maturing, and she's still partying, and you don't want to lose your friendship. That's what your 12-year friendship. Well, I would think that if you guys are friends for 12 years, that you can have a conversation with your friend. Sometimes we all have to realize when it comes to change and it comes to uh, growth, take it upon yourself to realize that you grow at your rate and your friend is growing at her rate. If she chooses to grow, everybody has their individual way and their individual time. And you cannot dictate how that or what that looks like. Okay. So sit your friend down, go for coffee or something, or you say a drink. Maybe not a drink because you want to be in your sober mind. You have that conversation now, so maybe have a little coffee with your friend and say, listen, I value our friendship and I do enjoy our friendship. But this part of our lives have changed for me. And I no longer want to do that part, but I will do this other part with you because this is our friendship and I do love and enjoy our friendship. And I'm pretty sure that if she's your true friend, if you guys have been friends for 12 years, there's something there. If, you know, um, I'm pretty sure that she will understand that everybody's not an apple or everybody's not an orange. We are all mixed vegetables or a mixed fruit basket, okay? So Miss New York, you let your friend know how you feel. Be honest with her. Be authentic with her. Let her know that you're changing this part of your life and that you're happy and excited about continuing the other parts of your life and waiting for new parts of your life to share with her. So I hope that answers your questions. And that was another segment of Embrace Your Edges and Tell Me About Your Edges. So tomorrow, let me just pull up here. Let's see what the other blog that I spoke about. Oh, so, and I'm gonna put that blog information out there so that you can go and start following. And once I get a good following again, I will open it back up and actually make it mine. Um, what does diversity and inclusion look like? Ooh, that's a deep one. That's a heavy one. I got a lot of booze. I can see why. Okay, we'll talk about that tomorrow. I think this last week we talked about change. I think this week is about truth, being truthful to yourself and being okay with being truthful to yourself. So with that, I am truly exhausted and truly tired and truly need to go to bed. I truly need to get this makeup off my face before I go to bed. So with that, I thank you so much for listening to me, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow with another episode of Embrace Your Edges. Cassidy came onto the bed and went back to sleep. So yeah, Daisy left. Anyways, thank you so much, and thank you for watching Embrace Your Edges. I'll see you tomorrow, next episode. Bye. Oh, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my blog as well as to Instagram, and check me out on Spotify, of course, where you're listening right now. And don't forget to check out the YouTube videos of the episodes so you can see exactly what I'm doing and who Cassidy is and who Daisy is and who, my lovely signs that I have in the background. So again, for those who are listening on Spotify, I thank you. For YouTube, nice to see you finally. And for those on IG, please join me on there and like, listen, share, subscribe, and please comment and let me know how I can help you embrace your edges. Bye for now.